When you fail to sell, you will fail to prevail, because the cash flow in any business is what's going to allow that business to grow. Is what's going to allow the owner to live the lifestyle that's going to make them happy. And ultimately, you want to be happy as the owner, but also, and more importantly, it's going to allow you to create a better experience, a better program. It's going to allow you to be able to give more to your clients. It's going to allow you to be able to create a level of experience that's going to get them better results. It might allow them to, generate more revenue or get more resources. Like, for example, for me, as we started to generate more revenue, that allowed me to be able to hire coaches and spend more time, creating, different resources for the program. So you gotta have the cash flow and know how to make sales. About last 8 years, I've been an entrepreneur for like the last decade. About last 8 years, I've really been in this space. And, as I've learned over the years, is that your fear will stop you from achieving more than you really could. Coach, what do you mean by that? Like, you'll be afraid to approach people. You'll be afraid to have conversations online. You'll be afraid to reach out to somebody. You'll be afraid to initiate, those connections that you need to initiate to really see if you can help somebody on a higher level. So fear kills a lot of dreams, and fear will also kill a lot of sales, because I remember times where I wanted to just reach out to somebody, or somebody been engaging with my page or engaging with my content, and maybe I had their number, right, or I had their social media handle, but I was afraid of bothering them. I was afraid of, well, maybe they're eating dinner with their family. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they don't want to, because they haven't directly asked me for help. Maybe they don't want the help. But all of those things in my mind were limiting beliefs that was stopping me from living my purpose in a way where I can impact more people. And it had nothing to do with what was going on in their life, and everything to do what was going on up here. Everything to do with that. Because of my own mindset, that prevented me from doing the necessary actions to really help people at the highest level. So when it came down to sales, and if you understand what I'm saying, go ahead and put "that's me" before, if you understand it, because at some level, a lot of us go through this, have been through this at some point. So what I had to start doing is really one, understanding that my goal is to continue to provide opportunities for people, and it's up to them whether they want to take that step, right? We're not digging at anybody's pockets and telling them to invest. What we're doing is we're showing people a better way, regardless of what your niche is, who you help, what topic you focus on. Our job is to continually be able to communicate and influence our audience in a way where they can see that there is a better way. Right? You have experience, you have knowledge, you have expertise, and you've been able to overcome some of the trials and tribulations in what you're coaching people on. So it's our job to really articulate that messaging in a way that's going to be compelling for them to say, I want to go to the next. Now, a couple of things that you need to do. Once you're on a call with somebody, right? It's preferable if it's intentional. Right? Meaning, book a time with me, we chat, and now we're on a call, right? Strategy call, sales call, I don't care what you call it. We're on a call now. So that's one way. Or, sometimes you probably get a lot of people who just call you up or just ask to pick your brain, right? So let's say if you're on a call, first thing you want to do is you want to be able to make sure that you qualify them. Qualify meaning when you jump on a call with somebody, you don't really even know if you can help them. This is one of the big mistakes that I used to make, where I used to think that I can help everybody, and I would try to help everybody, and I really wouldn't serve anybody because I was trying so hard to help everybody and verbally, verbal diarrhea on them, and just kind of telling them everything that I know about this topic and the subject of blah, 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 blah. I used to tell them so much, they would feel overwhelmed, or they would feel like, wow, I have so much stuff. I need to actually go on and implement this, right? And then I'll come back and I'll talk to you later, right? So you give them value, but first, before you even do that, before I even give anybody like real hardcore advice or value, I really need to know if I can even help you. So I'm listening more than I'm talking most of the time. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why this is super, super key. So with that, it's qualify. So you ask some questions just to kind of see if you can help. So I would ask questions in terms of, your goals, what their challenges are. You may not even be able to help them with their challenges. You need to see what their challenges are. You need to get clear on, what type of, life that they're trying to set up. You got to get clear on, what's motivating them, what's driving them. These are certain things that you got to know based on what they're telling you is that, can I not help you? I was talking to a guy a few months back, and he asked me, and he said, I'm looking to create the world's #1 podcast. And I said, wow, that's dope. And I said, that's great. And I said, I felt like I could give you some helpful tips, but I don't feel like I would be doing you the best justice if we work together, because my goal is to really help you build the best coaching experience and make your business profitable from a coaching business program perspective. I said, that's what I do. I said, I got a friend, my guy's name is David Shands, and he'll actually be better at that than I will. You feel what I'm saying? But if I just went in and just said, I can't help him with the marketing. Oh, well, I do know how to build the audience, so I can help him with that piece of it. If I approached it from that standpoint, he probably wouldn't have not gotten as best results as possible because I couldn't give him the whole thing of what he was looking for. But I discovered that through asking very insightful questions. Does that make sense? So that's really, really key, that we ask very probing, Socratic, and very intentional questions to see how we can really help. And through that will demonstrate your expertise. All right? Like, is this helpful? Put major gems in the chat if this is helpful. Major gems. Let me know if this is helpful. Another thing that I would say, and then we'll kind of transition in a minute and then open up to some questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to start writing out your questions now, because that's going to be key. Another thing when it comes to sales is really figuring out, okay, once you got that idea, you can give them your recommendations. So there is a part where you can give them recommendations based on what they told you, right? You're not going to sit down for 3 days straight and give them recommendations. You ain't going to sit down for 3 hours straight and give them everything you know. But what you're going to do is, once they tell you their problems and you can really help them, then you can say, okay, based on my recommendations, boom, this is what I would say. Boom, 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 boom. Now, you can give them a few things, and you might say, well, coach, if I'm giving them the answers, well, why would they want to work with me? It's because people need help with implementation. People need to know the details. People need to know what it looks like. People need to know examples. People want somebody, they don't just want to go out and do something. They want support and accountability, and I need to know that I got a coach looking over my shoulder that I can say, oh, look at my homework. You feel what I'm saying? So don't feel like they're not gonna be interested. You don't sit down and you give them a whole 5-hour detailed plan, but you give them an overall plan so they at least know where the big moving parts are at. And then in order to really get down to the nitty gritty and the nuances and implementation and accountability and all of that stuff, that is why they're working your program. So that's the second is recommendations. And then now you go into presentation. Presentation is really coming down to, okay, well, what do you have? So showing your program, presenting your program, how you can help, what your program includes. We call it an executive offer. So you want to present what your executive offer is, and that is gonna blow people's mind. That's gonna blow people's mind away, because this is what they've been looking for their entire life. You know how many people I get on a call with, and they'll be like, oh my God, coach, like this has been what I've been looking for my entire life. Like this, I've taken all of these other programs, I looked at these other things, or this is my first time doing it, but I've kind of seen other things and other advertisements, but this right here, I feel good about it. I can tell my heart, I can tell somebody's heart, and I could tell like you truly care about my success, and this program right here is exactly what I need. Your people should be saying it about you every time. They should be saying it because you know your market so well. And this is the reason why I advocate for niches, is because when you know a particular market or group so well, it's gonna feel like a hand in a glove. It's gonna fit like perfect. You feel what I'm saying? And they're gonna be like, oh my God, you made this for me. That's how you want it to feel. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it should feel. And it's only gonna feel like that if you're identifying and you're helping us